Hey there, Heather. Ho there. It's Jeff Carter Diamond. Welcome you to another In the Pocket Bowling video. We're doing the 2007 tournament champions, 32 men from each year. We'll be going toe to toe for a major bowling thing, and we had four matches. As Warren, Schaefer, Jarros, and Bone all have won. Their winning scores are calculated, and it will determine who will face who. So by randomization, we go with Troy Wallenbecker and Norm Duke to start this video. Norm Duke, a 218 average against Wallenbecker. Wallenbecker will draw first. I guess visible. So dice, and it was a 9. Triple ones, it's 9 of 3 of a kind, so he gets a 9 and a spare. Duke throws a 6-1-1, and terribly, that's an 8, and then an extra 1. So he misses the spare. That's not good. Second frame is a 4-3-1. That's a split. No, that's a spare. What am I saying split? So that's a spare. So he spares on that one. Wallenbecker will throw a 2-3-1. 1, 2, 3, play with me, but it's a 7-2. So he misses the spare opportunity on 2. On 3. He will have a 7-2. Oh, 35. So 1-1-2 out of the pocket chart. And the chart says I can go 7-2. Duke throws a 6-6-4. That's a well, if it was 10 to 15, it would be a strike, but it's a pair of sixes, so back one frame. So whatever he did the back previous frame, he got it. So it's an 8 and a spare. So it's 18 in the second frame. Fourth frame is another spare, 6-5-6. So a pair of sixes again, back one frame. So he's gotten 3 spares with straight spares, but he's made 8 of the first one. Wallenbecker throws a 4-6-3. That's 13. That's a K. That's a strike for Wallenbecker. Fifth frame, he throws a 2-5-1. That's a spare. So Wallenbecker throws that one. Duke. A 1-5-6. That's 12. And that is a strike. So he leads after 4 frames. Because Wallenbecker has had 2 open frames on the 6th. Duke. There's an 8th spare. Had 3-5-5, pair of 5s. So that is a back 2 frames. That is what did he do on the 4th frame? And that is a spare. Wallenbecker throws a 6-2-5. That's a K on the board. So Wallenbecker trying to catch the legend Norm Duke. On 7, he throws a 6-3, a 1-1-2 out of the pocket chart. Does not help him out, and that's his second terrible throw, a 1-3. Duke on 7. That's a 4-6-4. That's 14, and that's a K for Duke, so he's looking pretty good. On 8, he throws a triple ones, 3 of a kind. That's a K on the board. Wallenbecker's 3 of a kind would be a spare, but yeah, Duke throws another strike, so that's 2. Wallenbecker throws a 2-2-3, that's a spare. A big spare there, so on 8, on 9. He throws 6-4-1, that's a K, so he's got 123 through 8. Duke throws a 1-2-1, that's a terrible throw. That's a 7-2, so he gets up to 160 onto the 10. So Wallenbecker's got kind of a chance. Duke will throw first on 10. He throws a 1-1-3, a 7, and then he misses a 2. So a 169. Unprecedented. I thought Norm Duke had this in the bag. He had, but 2 terrible dice rolls. Wallenbecker has a chance to win. Throws a 1-4-5. That's a strike. I think another strike. He's got this. Throws 6-6-3. That's a strike. And that's the game. Because Wallenbecker, I can't believe Duke threw a 169. Third frame is a 6-5-5, so he turkeys to win the match with a 183. So Wallenbecker beats Norm Duke, which is hard to do. But Norm Duke had a lot going for him. He was crushing it. But on 9, that 7-2 for 9, the open frame on 9 ruined him. And then he open framed on 10, whereas Wallenbecker threw strike, strike, strike. So it's a 183 for Wallenbecker. To move on to the next round, I know it's not a good score, and all that, but we'll see what happens in the next 3 matches because 4 matches per video. Oh, darn Duke. Brian Leclerc will get the call, and it will be Patrick Allen who will get so it's Brian Leclerc and Patrick Allen will be your next matchup. Leclerc, a righty 211 average against the lefty Patrick Allen with a 222. So Leclerc and Allen are going to be our second matchup. Here, Brian will start. He throws a 3-4-3. That's 10. He just gets enough for a strike. Patrick Allen throws a 3-6-1. That's 10. That's a strike as well. So yeah, 3 of a kind. Leclerc does not want 3 of a kind. Allen could go for 3 of a kind, which isn't that bad. Second frame, a 4-4-3. That's 11. That's a K for Allen. Brian Leclerc throws a 4-3-5. So that's 12. That's a strike himself. So he's done pretty well. Leclerc on 3. Throws 2-1-5. That is not going to be close to 10. That's 8. That's an 8 split spare. Meaning that he gets 28 points for the first frame, 48, and then another 20 for the second frame. Allen throws a 4-3-1. He doesn't get 3 straight strikes to start. He does the same thing, an 8 spare. Split. No spare. First frame is a 1-5-2. That's 8. So 18 points on 3. And then he'll spare on 4. Leclerc. 1, 2, 3, play with me, and he gets a 7. So 17 points on 3, adding to the 10 points on 3, so that's 66-65. Leclerc's looking out for a spare. It's a 6-1-1. The 6-1-1 is not the best thing around. It's an 8, and then he has to hit 1 pin. Allen. Throws a 6-2-5. That's 13. That's a K on everyone's board. On to 6. Allen throws a 5-3-1. That's a spare. So 106 through 5. So that's 9. Not enough for a strike. But hey, a spare. Leclerc throws a triple twos. That is not good. A 7-2. So 101 through 6. On to 7. 7. It is 6-4-6. It is 16. That is too high for the 10 to 15 strike thing. Pair of 6 is back of frame, so he gets the same as the 6, so 101. So it's 110 through 7. And then 6-2-6, another one, well, back of frame, so 9 spare. So 19 points from the 6, making him 125. Now into 8. 6-1-3, that's a K. That's 10. That's just enough. On to 8. It is 4-6-1. That's 11 points. That's a strike by Leclerc. On to 9. 1-2-1. What does that mean? Oh, a 4-1-4. So that's a strike. So I think it was a reroll or something like that. Allen. He'll throw a strike himself. So that's big for him, especially for Leclerc. Allen needs a good 10 frame. He throws a 3-6-5. That's another strike. I think he's practically won this. 1-4-4. Gets a 9. He'll knock it down for 224. I don't think Leclerc, even if he triple strikes. Well, he strikes there. So 140. It is possible. Kind of possible. Patrick Allen's got a 224. Yeah, Wallenbecker threw a 183 and beat Norm Duke. Next frame. 4-4-2. That's a strike. 170. No, he can't catch. 30 points is the maximum. So Allen with a 224 will win. Leclerc throws a 3-1-3. He misses. He kind of knew it. He throws a 7. So 197. That's pretty good. That actually would have beaten Duke, but because it's head to head. Points that matter. Leclerc's 197 is for naught. Allen's 224 is for something. And Patrick Allen will move on to the next round. So it's going to be Jim Tomac Jr. who will get the they call it, and it'll be Brian Kretzer. Yeah, Brian Kretzer will be next. So Tomac versus Kretzer will be our next matchup. Tomac at 209 average righty against the righty Kretzer at 215 average. So let's see what happens. Tomac strikes first. He throws a triple sixes, which is three of a kind, which is not good because that's an open frame 9 for him. Kretzer, on the other hand, would throw an 8. And a spare, will spare. Kretzer throws 3-1-4. That's a spare. Start the match. Second frame. Kretzer goes 5-1-5, a pair of fives. That would be good for 11. That would be good for a strike, but the rule on the card is pair of five back two frames. So it'd be like, I don't know how they figured it was 9 split. Anyway, here's Tomac. He throws a 2-4-5. That's a strike. So Tomac with the big strike there. On to 3, and he throws a 2-2-6. That's a strike. For Tomac, and Kretzer throws at triple twos. That is a spare with 18 points on the second frame. On to 4. He goes 3-4-4. That's 11. That's a strike for Kretzer. Tomac throws 2-4-6. That's 2-4-6-8. Who do we appreciate? Tomac Jr. And that's a turkey. Gobble gobble. On to 5. He throws a 1-2-6. That's a spare. He doesn't get his 4-3 straight, but he throws 88 points through 4. Kretzer throws a 2-4-5. That's a strike, so that could help him out. He's looking for the turkey on 6. It's a 1-5-1. That's a 7-2 open frame 112 through 6. So yeah, that's an open frame. That's not good. Tomac will throw a 2-1-1. He misses on that pin and flails it. He is in the lead at 116, so that's good news for Tomac. So 116 through 6, Kretzer 112 through 6, both with open frames. Okay. Tomac throws a triple fives, which is 15. That would be a strike, but because it's three of a kind, it is a 7-2, so it's an open frame for Tomac. Kretzer, can he take advantage? 5-4-4, he does. That's a strike. On 8, he throws triple threes. Normally it's a 9. It would be a spare anyway, I think. So he throws 20 points on 7. Tomac throws a 2-2-4. That's a spare. Anyway, he plays it on 9. He throws a 2-3-4. And that's a spare 19 points on 8. So that's 144 through 8. And he has a spare to work off of. Kretzer throws a 2-3-4. And a spare 19 points there. 151 through 8. So it's a close game. Kretzer only up by 7 pins. Let's see what he throws on 10. First of all, is a 3-4-5. That's a K on the board. So 171 through 9. Second ball is a 5-3-1. That's a 9. He misses. He finishes off with 191. Hopefully that wins it. Usually it doesn't. Anyway, Tomac versus Kretzer. Well, here's Tomac. Throws a 6-4-2. That's a strike. That's a big strike. He needs, I believe, strike, strike, strike. Or strike, strike 8, right? Yeah, he needs another strike. He definitely needs a strike. Throws a 6-6-5. That's a strike. All he needs is 8 pins to beat Kretzer because he's got 20 points. So 184. He needs 8. He throws a 6-5-5. That's a strike. That's the game. And Tomac with a 194 gets it. Gets in enough. Gets in. And so it's Jim Tomac Jr. who will beat Kretzer to move on to the Sweet 16. So we're going to go with Chad Kloss. And Himmler. We did Himmler, right? No, we did not do Himmler. So Kloss versus Himmler. Yep, so we're going to do Kloss versus Himmler next. This will finish our day 2 coverage. Chad Kloss, a 210 average on a righty against Himmler, who's a 214 and a righty, so his average. So we'll see what happens here. Kloss, first ball, to him. He throws a 2-2-1. That's a 7-2. So Kloss will have an open frame. His three of a kind is a spare. Himmler's three of a kind is 7-2. Himmler throws a 6-3-5. That's it. 14. That's a strike. Second ball is a 1-2-2. That is a 5. That is a 7-2. And that is going to be a open frame. Kloss throws a 1-6-5. That's a strike to build off of his open frame. 1-3. He throws 4-1-6. That's another strike. The Toronto area code, as I like to call it. So that's 11. Himmler throws a 4-5-2. That's 11. That's a strike to match Kloss on 4. He throws a 6-6-5. That's a strike. So he's done that. Kloss throws a 1-3-4. He misses a strike. You have to score 8, and then he's got a spare to work off of on 5. And it's 5-2-1. That is another 8. So 18 on 4 and a spare to work off of. Himmler throws a 6-5-3. That's 14. That's another strike. So Himmler's striking oppose on 6. He throws 4-2-1. So that's 7 pins plus the spare. So 105 through 5. Halfway point Kloss. Throws a 4-1-3. That's an 8. 18 points on 5. So he's at 93 through 5 and a spare. On 7. Kloss throws a 4-1-5. That's 10. He just nipped the 10 in the bud. It's a strike. Himmler throws a 2-2-1, and that's terrible. That is a 7. That's an open frame for 131. So Kloss might have a chance. Himmler then throws a 2-5-2. He misses the strike by 1, but he makes spare on 8. Kloss throws a 4-5-4. That's the right area code. That's 13. That's a strike for Kloss on a 9. Kloss throws a 1-2-4. That's a 7-pin thing and a spare. So 160 through 8. Himmler throws a 5-4-1. That's a strike. 151 through 8. So Kloss technically has the lead, but Himmler has a strike to work off of. Kloss has a spare to work off of. Himmler on 10. Throws a 6-1-6. So that's 13. That's enough for a strike. Well, a pair of sixes. Yeah, a pair of sixes. He goes back a frame. Next ball is a 3-3-1. That's a 7. And then he spares. Gets a 3-pin spare. So he puts up a 198. Kloss kind of has a chance. Throws a 5-6-3. That's a strike. 180. So he needs a strike, ends it. 5-3-1. He gets a 9. That will end it. 199. And he throws the last ball, just sneaking in. I understand. I'm charged up. But tried Kloss puts up a 200. He beats Himmler 200 to 198. That was a very close game, but Kloss survives. While throwing 1 open frame to Himmler's 2. Yeah, open frames were the killer, and Kloss survived. Yeah, he knew he had to throw 9. Well, he threw 9, he knew, and then he knocked it down for 200. So it's a 200 to 198 win for Kloss. So Wellenbecker, Allen, Tomac, and Kloss all are winners in this tournament. We'll have more bowling for you next time and 4 more matchups to get to the 2007 step. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.